Hello, this is a Silver 1 Sigma and Winston VOD review, and the post on this one mentions that they had dropped out of gold, and from them looking at this game, they thought the issues were positioning and how they played versus Zarya, and those are the right things, you called it, but we're just going to go over how you can improve it or fix it. And so Sigma on the defense is fine, even if there's Zarya, because you've got the map and range on your side. But they're coming out. Oh, we got pulled. That's fine, just straight S key. But good use of your abilities there, especially interrupting the axe. That's a huge one on Queen. And that barrier there, you don't want your barrier to be broken there. You can even, if you want back up to here at this point, just control them. Wait till they actually cross into the spot where your teammates can see them. Think of like an imaginary line. And once they cross this, that's what your barrier's for. Barrier behind the queen to block healing and follow up, or just barrier to live, but don't let it break this soon. Even though it's tempting, but you've got your safe corner, you've got your healers, you don't really need to be dumping all these abilities, or your shield and your grasp. But she just eats the rock and the anti, so it's fine. And he ran forward. This is the shield behind play. If anyone goes in deep, shield behind them, and then get him. But you got him anyway, and what I don't like is how we're not resetting. See how Junkrat came back up here? Sure, it's easier. He can just grenade jump, but you've got 2 ways to reset, and you're not doing it. So not all people in gold play high ground, but you recognized it was a good spot to be, that you started here. So why are you not resetting and shooting down at them? Because we don't want the Zarya to get charged and just run at us and break our barrier for a free win. And this is another case of your barrier broke here before they even came out, and now you wish you had some barrier right now. Because at this point, you'd either barrier, or you can even just, when she's bubbling, just hide, and then poke back out when the bubble's done. But see how dumb it looks when she has to push in to get to you? You got in a limb earlier, so it didn't really matter, but see, when you play safer and she has to run across the street, her bubbles run out real fast and she dies. So that's, range is your friend, and on defense you've got it. You don't have to run at her. And we're not getting stagger kills, so same thing of your barrier. I think you at least dropped it this time with 60, but and that's a better use of barrier. The only thing is, if you still had it, then he'd be looking at a barrier at this point and dying really easily. So just don't let your barrier break that soon. You can just use cover instead. And they just ult the flux. You don't always have to, when you saw Zen ult, you didn't have to fly into them. Because at this point, it's probably better just to be here still, maybe barrier them and focus on the Zarya. You don't always have to just fly into them. But good job at least barrier dancing. And you have a good retake here. I fast forwarded through this, so good job coming in at the last second. And not just standing there and having a 1v1 with the Zarya. So I like that, how you went for the other targets. So good job.
Precisely.
The universe is singing to me!
Still no high ground, but at least you just keep your range, poke them out, Poke them out. If you have to, back up here. Keep the range is just what I want to see. We'll go top down. Keep the range. And the downside of not being high ground is Zarya just gets this free map control or any DPS do, so. But it's fine, at least you're keeping your distance. And Zarya is on the point now, so the barrier, I don't know if you heard the soldier or knew, but the soldier's the bigger threat to your team. If you could barrier him instead, if you've heard him, but...
Academic, but I believe
But they do get it, and you had to touch at that point because they had 2 ticks, so not the end of the world. Good defense. Your supports were just doing really good there. If you just manage your barrier a little better, play range a little better, reset high ground because you did want to be there, just do those things and it'll help you. Even though that just came down to ultimates really, but... And same thing, don't let your barrier dwell out here because your team's here, so as soon as they get to this corner, that's when you want to pour on the barrier. You don't have to leave it out. And you fell for the oldest trick in the book, the I'm vulnerable, oh wait, I got ult. But we just gotta run back. And that's just too many ults to deal with, so that's that. And so I would have liked to look back to see where everyone is. If you see, okay, we've got 2 DPS, I might try it, but it's just going to be hard to retake after they used all those ultimates, but... What is the problem is you getting that Mei and going back for more when your team's dead. You're not going to kill the Zarya. You want to just back up, set up a defense, same thing applies. This is a really nice place to just play defense, this area up here. Zarya runs in the street, has no clue what to do. It's just so strong, and you're choosing to play in the street again. So use the range, you're on defense, you can set up in a nice spot, and you're not doing it. Yeah, that's just suicidal. And we've got ult, and same thing applies, so you came out here. I don't play Sigma here. You kind of missed your chance for the main defense spot, but same thing applies here. Poke out people, wait for Zarya to use your bubbles, and then push in once they get to here and your team can see them, then you... Or Zarya is low and out of bubbles, then you can push in, but don't by default stand in the street. You gotta commit as Sigma to use range and wear them down first until you use their resources and things like that. You're not even gonna get a chance to ult at this point because it's just a charged Zarya in your face. So range, cover, is just what we gotta drill in.
Ready for battle.
Now we're on Winston, so taking this upper part's good. You can just zap down them. You don't need the barrier yet. Wait until your DPS and supports catch up. That dropped 2, it might have been an accident. But same thing, you can get up here and just zap down on them, force them back. It's okay to sort of slow play and take away their control of the map, push them out, corner them, because you don't want to just use your bubble like that in front of all of them. And it's just going to break instantly. So yeah, that's why, say if you were here zapping down, it's It's just disorienting for them. You can control how much damage you take. You can save your bubble until, like, you've got a Sombra. Say a Sombra gets in the backfield, then that's your cue. Okay, now I'll jump down in between them all and break them up with a bubble. It's not, you're just being worse Reinhardt right now. And just limit how much damage you take. Same thing applies. You can be here, or just walk up here and look down. Where am I jumping? Or just zap. If they're right here, you can literally just zap down. But you just limit how much frontal damage you're taking. Because your Sombra was ready to go in. So if you did what I said and you were up here, then you come in at this point, drop down bubble, and their team's just being surrounded. So that's how you want to play Winston, your ability to take control of the map, surround them, break their team up with the bubble. None of it's being used if you play just Winston from the front like this. And just get out. It can be back, or you can even probably jump up here. They might all run at you because people hate to be flanked, but that's fine. If they all want to run at you, just hide and wait for your bubble to come back. But this map is just Winston, Diva, Hazard. It's their playground. The way they can, at any point, there's high ground in a 360-degree ring, and if they're in the middle of that, you can go anywhere you want, and it's just... Say if you were here right now, then Zarya's like, what do I do? There's a Winston there, or you're zapping down, like, oh, Winston, and then there's people here too, and it's so much more effective. But don't just let the sim charge or beam. It's okay if you're seeing where everyone is, but even right now, if you just want to go for the Life Weaver, then everyone turns and looks at you. Sim's up here. Or that's, yeah, I can never tell which character it is when they have skins, but yeah, they're up here, your supports are here, so things like this are plays you want to make. When you have Bubble, of course, you're using Bubble as a worse Reinhardt barrier, but if you have it, then you can make a play. Okay, well, the effort helps. I think you hit your head, but... Alright, we got Bubble again, let's go. A little late, but fine. And don't feed. Just hold the corner. Yeah, good job. And that soldier kill's good, but you're just forcing this. You can do your team's all the way back here. Do the same thing. Just set up in a safe spot, probably here, or maybe in here, or somewhere along this sort of ring, and wait to drop down on them, because your team's not even ready, and you're trying to brute force a charge Zarya and a Torbjorn by yourself, when you don't have to, so. Oh, you die here. No, we get away.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I like the idea. The only problem is they've backed up so far that they can see this. So the safer answer is probably here, where you can just set up. You're one jump away from getting on them, but you're in a safe spot. Because your Sim's getting kills and your Sombra's in, and you've just lost all your health to chip damage, so you can't really help, and you need 5 seconds. No. And I was gonna say, like, even if you just did here, you can control how much damage you take. Then when the Moira comes in or someone comes in, but it's fine. You at least are breaking up the team with the bubble. So this is the deeper bubble I wanted to see. You've got 2 people on this side, 2 people on this side. Torb's kind of hard to get, but...
Over the moon.
And Lifeweaver got himself split. So that's a good play. Even if the tree saves him, he needed that tree because of what you did. And you don't have to fight in the tree. Literally just you made a good play, they treed, just leave. Or play it safe. Yeah, a lot of this is just the bubble correcting for your bad positioning. And you never get to actually make a play when the bubble's used like this because you're just constantly hiding and bubbling. Okay, so let's just say... So knowing what we know now, you'd probably want to take some map control. It's just, you can be above them. It's so just stress-free. You just look down on them, zap. You just have no idea how stressful that is for them. They'll probably end up backing up, or you'll kill them, but... Yeah, and at this point you probably know what I'm going to say. Just you're not going to be able to brute force from the front. Surround them, get on top of them, come in from a creative angle, and good things will happen. If not, if you jump in front of everyone, they'll burn the bubble instantly, and then... And that just turned into a scrap, and your DPS killed everyone. But the fact you just go in from the front immediately right away, yes, it's a distraction, but you've never actually made a team play with your DPS. They're just kind of getting solo kills. Because if you were up here, then, oh, Sim's going in, I'll drop down, and you're hitting someone from 2 different angles. When you get kills like that, it's just really satisfying as Winston, and you can't always just rely on you standing on the front line being enough to let your DPS get a bunch of kills. You have to be more involved. And the Torb just isolated himself, so that's fine. It's just everyone 1v1ing. Good job, don't let them out. Was that enough? No, and they did have grabs, so... Your DPS just kind of got sucked into that because they were too far forward, but that's fine.
Caution.
And that's fine, Zarya was separated, so... Don't wait for your bubble, though, you can just play it safe. And that's, when you see something like this, you don't have to fight the Zarya. When you see Sombra fighting here, you can go for the Soldier and Lifeweaver would be good targets. Especially with the Torb dead now, I want to see you here, bubbling, helping the Sombra, instead of just on the Zarya. You can just, it's your choice to fight the Zarya whenever you want. And if you don't want to fight her, you can always just go for someone else. But yeah, just sitting here, dropping your bubble here, it's more frontline Winstoning. Because I just hope you see the opportunity to go with your Sombra. And that's good.
I feel a warning sign. Careful, we're outnumbered.
Yeah, and I guess your DPS just got killed there. But that was the Lifeweaver and the Soldier were the right targets that you could actually get.
Show them what you've got.
And you've got Torb, so the front lining is going to work even less. You have to choose your moments, or else Torb will shred your bubble. So get on high ground, look for people like the Soldier, the Lifeweaver, or Torb if your Sombra goes on him. The timing's important there, but you've just got to get out of this frontline bubble habit. And yeah, Zarya's up here, so it's a little tougher. But at least she's the only one up here, so you can, with the help of your Kiriko, force her out. Same thing, I know you hear the thing, but you've got to touch it anytime by just walking, so don't... You can just break the tree. I think you have the perk that does more damage to obstacles, or buildings, or whatever. Your sim's in, so this is good timing. But yeah, this is the one fight where you kind of have to play payloady, but the 4 fights before, you did not have to be in the street. You should have done the thing where you surrounded them, pressured them, saved your bubble until your sim and Somber went in and then grabbed him. It just turned into them saving themselves with ults again on the one fight that actually mattered, but